With all of this enormous activity that you were involved in, did you find time for a personal life?
Oh yes, there was always a personal life in my activity. As I say, within the activities of the movement, everything wasn't politics. We had parties, we had dances, and at the same time, I never relinquished my friendships with people who were not communists. I always maintained a relationship to people such as the Aaron Douglases and Langston Hughes and other friends here. And that eventually led to my marriage to William Patterson in 1940 and going to Chicago. I think one of the things, as far as black women were concerned, that if we had just, as far as social act concerned, limited it to the communist circles, we would have been very lonely.
Why was that?
Well, we didn't have the relationship to the white section of the movement that we had, you know, your family and intimate associates, and well, we felt that one thing, there were too many black men who became interested in white women, and the reverse of it didn't take place. White men, not to the extent, and this was resented on the part of black women, but never bothered me much because I didn't limit myself to that kind of social life. I had my friends and my family friends, my social associates, and I didn't have to depend just on the political movement to satisfy that side of my activity. Some women, I remember going to Cleveland one time on a holiday, and Maud White was out there. I don't think she knew many people in Cleveland, black people. And she didn't have any invitation to Thanksgiving dinner. And I remember changing my schedule so that I could get back to Cleveland in time to go out. We went to a restaurant and had dinner. Otherwise, she would not have. Racism, the person, and here is not my saying an indictment of the Communist Party, because I think the Communist Party has done the most in this country to fight racism. But joining the Communist Party doesn't wipe people whiter than sin, no more than it does when you join the church. When I was a child, I was so disappointed, as I was very religious at one point in my life. And I felt, when I listened to these evangelists, and they tell you, you know, you get washed whiter than snow, which is a chauvinist expression if you ever heard one. I believed it. And when my mother wouldn't let me go, when Billy Sunday came to town, that would be one of the big activities in the little western towns I lived in. And when my mother wouldn't let me go get converted like all the kids in school were doing, along with everybody else, because everybody went to the tent to listen to Billy Sunday do his number, I was brokenhearted. But then I saw that the kids the next week, they weren't any different than they were before. So to get back to what we were talking about, joining the party doesn't mean that people shed all their attitudes and at one time. And fighting racism, you have to fight it within the party as well as otherwise. So that in social activity, people tend to go with their kind. And if you are say, like Maud out there alone, a black woman, with no other to identify of your color, you can be very lonely. But I never permitted that to happen because I always kept within my community as well. And I would say, if I went to a dance, and I would see that see, there's a difference. I used to explain this to some of the people that I know. A white woman will take a stance, an approach to a black man that she wouldn't do with a white man. Because she can do it in the name, we're both of us subjected to male chauvinism. But she feels freer because she can say, I'm expressing my anti-racist attitude, And so, where a black woman wouldn't go up to a man and say, will you dance with me? A white woman would go up saying she would feel brave, and could justify it. She was doing if she were in the church, she was doing her Christian duty. If she's in the party, she is being very outgoing, so that where a black woman wouldn't do it. And now kids are freer today, but there was time in our day when you asked for a man, when you waited for a man to ask you to dance. Or if you were in society, you had your program, and they would come and put their names down on your program for a dance. You didn't go up and ask them to do it. Did you have that experience in your life?
Oh, yes.
So that in the early days of the movement, I would say that many of the black women were isolated. And when Pat and I married, there was real celebration on the part of many black women to see that one of the leaders of the Communist Party had married a black woman. And I talked to many people, and my position is this: I'm sure for integration, but also there is a political consideration. I think that in many instances, that a leader married to a black woman can be much more effective within the community. Now, things change, but I still feel that